All right, so Mrs. Lombardo, this is your first TV interview since your husband took office, and I think a lot of people want to know, what is it like to be First Lady?
Oh, well, that is a very loaded question, very open question. It's a privilege, quite frankly. It's a privilege. It's not something I ever expected or saw coming until very recently before the election. But it's a privilege. It's a privilege and an honor. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Lacey, having the governor of Nevada as a dad, what is that like?
It's interesting to see your parents take on these roles because at home they're both such loving parents and they've always been so supportive. And to see that their love for community and for the state overall really put them in the position that they're in, it seems just very natural to me. I'm not surprised by it. It's really what I would always assume them to have become, both the First Lady and the governor, absolutely.
And next Tuesday is Election Day. I want to know, do you have any family traditions when it comes to Election Day?
No, just vote. That's our family tradition. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mrs. Lombardo, you've been an advocate for mental health, and can you talk about just some of the things that you champion as First Lady of Nevada?
Well, mental health is my passion and my interest for very personal reasons. Some of the people I love the most suffer from varying forms of mental illness, and so it's very, very near and dear to me. I've visited some of the small organizations in Southern Nevada and Northern Nevada that are supporting of mental illness issues, and that's kind of how this event came about that we're doing today, this charity networking lunch. Is I realized that there's so many small groups that don't have a large voice, that don't have, you know, a board that's, you know, with any status, if you will, that need help and are doing great things. And then I learned along the way that there are donors and foundations that sometimes have money that are unused resources. So what a blessing for me to be able to bring these parties together and create that connection and help, you know, help these causes and to help, you know, our communities in Nevada where people are struggling. And so if I can do anything to help in that regard, that's my sort of my thing.
Yeah, so people may or may not know this, but you have a successful career in real estate. How do you balance being not only the First Lady, but, you know, having a full-fledged career, being a mother, grandmother? How do you balance all of that?
I think the word is bandwidth, because it is a lot. It's a lot. My husband knew, you know, when he decided to take this on, that I have a career and I'm going to continue to work in my career. I love what I do, and it's relevant to me and relevant to my family. And then we have a grandchild, 2-year-old, so new to the story too, which is of utmost importance to both of us. This role as First Lady, helping my husband, supporting him, is also paramount. So I wear a lot of hats, but I'm blessed with again, tremendous bandwidth. So she laughs because she just watches me do it, and we get it done. So, like I say, it's an honor and a privilege to be the First Lady.
Before Governor Lombardo chose to run for governor, did you have discussions as a family whether or not you wanted him to run?
Oh yes, for months. It was a collective decision. He would not have decided to do it or pursued it without the support of his family. That's the truth. That's just not what he would do. But quite frankly, I didn't know exactly what it entailed until we walked in this house in the governor's mansion, and everything started happening. So it's a lot bigger than I thought. He loves the job. He's absolutely the best leader and the hardest working man I know. So he's absolutely the right person for the job, and I'm so proud of the work he's doing. But yeah, we definitely discussed it, and he felt that was his calling, and he was ready to do this. And thankfully enough, the voters of Nevada chose him too.
Yeah. Why do you think Nevada was ready for a Republican governor?
I don't think Nevada was necessarily ready for a Republican governor. I think Nevada was ready for a transparent, hardworking, more middle of the road governor that isn't super polarizing or extreme on either side. That's just my opinion. I'm a voter. I've been a registered voter my entire life in Nevada. And for me, that, I can see that because I try and look from an outside lens. That's a very appealing thing. I would think a very appealing thing for the voters, and apparently they felt so too.
I also feel that Governor Lombardo is a leader. That's who he is. And I think after a couple decades, everyone was really looking for somebody that could lead us during scary times, during times that felt unsure and maybe even unsafe. And I think when you have somebody like him at the helm and with his track record professionally, you just know that you're going to be safe and you know that you're going to be in good hands. And I think his career has proven that.
So Nevada voters are known to pick the person over the party, and Nevada was one of the only states to have, split ticket voters in the last election cycle. What do you think it is about Nevada voters that wanted to choose Governor Lombardo and also, be open to electing a Democratic senator? So what do you think about Nevada voters being, choosing people over party?
I think it is people over party, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that we are a very, I don't want to say transient, but inbound. We're a growing state. People from all over the country are moving here and have been moving here, so we have a kind of a mixed bag of mentalities and backgrounds. And I actually love it. I think it's great because people over party is, I think, the best thing for the citizens, for the state, for the government. Yeah.
And when people are choosing someone to lead them, to elect someone like Governor Joe Lombardo, they often, look at the whole picture, look at their entire family. How involved would you say when he's about to make a hard decision? Do you talk as a family, or how? I know a lot of politicians, like their first gentleman or first lady is in their ear. How involved would you say you are in the decision-making process in some cases?
My husband is a very resolute person. He has his own moral compass, and he knows what's right and what's wrong, and he has a very strong, as my daughter said, sense of leadership. He doesn't confer with me to ask permission, or we talk about everything, but his decisions are made on his own. And I'm happy to, and I'm supportive, and I give him my feedback, good and bad, mostly good, because I have such tremendous respect for him. And he knows how to solve problems, he knows how to lead, he knows how to get things done. And so when he goes to work every day, I know that that's what he's doing. Yeah.
Would you say you're 100% politically aligned with the beliefs of your husband, Joe Lombardo?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would.
And then, sorry, let me look at my questions. Was there anything you were surprised about before, moving into the governor's mansion, taking over this important role as the family? Anything you were surprised about before he took, or after he took office?
I've been surprised about a lot of things. I actually did not realize how many employees would be under his watch. Departments, commissions, he juggles it beautifully, and when we first went into his office here and we first walked into the house, and it's just so much, but it's a much bigger job than I thought. But he loves the fact that he can see change, he can cause change, he can advocate for change, and get things done, and that's really important to him. He's a person who wants to see results. And he pushes people around him to do that. And so, certainly a lot of surprises. Just like I say, it's a bigger thing than I ever imagined. But it's just so great to see him enjoying the job and working harder than ever, which I didn't think was possible. But yeah, it's good. It's very good.
You've gotten through some tough things as a family with the October 1 shooting in Las Vegas. Obviously, being the governor is not an easy job. How do you cope as a family when you're going through hard times?
You just hunker down with each other. You rely on Joe and I 1 October was very, very hard on him. That was a very hard thing for him to happen on his watch. He's a very responsible person. And it was very important for him to make sure the community felt safe, and that he had an amazing police department that he was instrumental in building. And we just, home is your haven. So you have your family, and that's where the strength comes from. Yeah.
What would you like to see for the state of Nevada going forward?
Oh,
I'd like to see more unity. I really would. I think that we're such, our history is so diverse. We've got this ranching cowboy aspect to us. And then we also have all these people moving here, and the South is very different from the North, and you can see the diversity, you know, especially in the way people do vote. And it's just, I think that it's happening. I think bit by bit we are becoming more unified. And I think that that's ultimately, you know, a huge goal is you want people to come together as a state and have Nevada pride and do it the Nevada way, and to be able to, you know, follow our governor and his lead.
well, and I feel like asking that question, it kind of, I step back because there's a lot of things, right, that we want for our community and our state. The mental health piece, of course, is a very big part of it, to provide resources, because our community, our youth are really struggling, and I think it's a top priority of mine. Our education system, you know, which I know we're working on as a state, needs a lot of work and a lot of help, because that's the future. That's the future of our society, right? Is educating a workforce, educating kids, providing vocational education too, not just, you know, university level education and K through 12, and the public safety piece, because again, if your community's not safe, people don't want to live there, right? And people don't want to move here, and families aren't safe. That's not where, you know, what we want our state to be about. So there's probably a long laundry list, but that's just a couple of things that come to mind.
Yeah, and one of my last questions here, a lot of people may have ideas of what it's like to be in the first family. Are there any misconceptions out there that you would like to address, or maybe something you didn't think you thought of before becoming the first family that people may not know?
I just think you're a little bit more visible than prior. People don't really necessarily know me. Like, I go to the grocery store and nobody, you know, knows who I am, which is fine and great. But you know, it's important that we support our governor and that we show up for him, and we do as a family. It's like I say, it's an honor and a privilege, and it is. My husband got elected by the people of the state of Nevada, and we are here to rally around him and support him. I'm also here to remind him that it's trash day. Like, we're a very grounded, you know, real family, and being the first family is so relevant and so valuable. But we're still human beings. We still treat everyone, you know, we're still the same people we were before he got elected. And so we always keep that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, you aren't maybe as visible. Like, people may not recognize you at the grocery store. Is there a reason that, you know, this is your first interview, or why do you maybe not maybe as open?
Well, I'm not a politician, right? And I'm a pretty private person. I go to almost everything with my husband. So I'm present and attending, but I'm not speaking, and I'm not, you know, I don't need to or want to be the center of attention. But when it comes to, like I say, the event today, and visiting, you know, facilities and organizations, that's what's important to me, is to do work that matters, that helps members of our communities in Nevada, not to be, you know, the face or the voice, or, you know, be so well known.
I think those are all my questions today. Is there anything else either of you would like to add, or anything you would want people of Nevada to know about you?
I don't know. We appreciate, you know, your time.
Well, there's that.
There it is.
That's that.
Anything else you would want to add, Lacey?
No, I just have two parents I'm very proud of. They work incredibly hard behind the scenes, and they care more than people will ever realize, and their schedules are extremely robust. And I think you see the package on TV, or you see, you know, when they're actually at events, but you don't see the hard work and the time and the energy and the events within our own family that, you know, we don't really get to spend as much time with, because our first priority is the state of Nevada. So I just wish people knew that more often, that it's incredibly, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to have parents and to be involved.
Thanks, daughter.
Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys did great.
Oh, thank you. talking about our governor. We love him.
We love him.
Thank you.
Talk about him or my grandchild.
That's about all we talk about.
Or commercial real estate.